Hi, my name is Helene Dubioray. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the Université Gustave Eiffel in Paris at a research chair that is called Logistics City. I joined this chair after obtaining my PhD at the Mobile Research Group of the Vrije Universiteit Brussels in Brussels. My research concentrates on goods mobility and consumer behavior related to e-commerce and practices to make the e-commerce supply chain more environmentally sustainable. I recently published a book on this topic outlining best practices and launched an online resource that discusses the state of the art on e-commerce developments called the E-commerce Mobilities Observatory. E-commerce is one of the most important challenges that currently impacts on urban freight transport. Already 1/5 of consumer spending is captured online, with countries such as the UK, South Korea, and China leading the way, as shown on the slide. The growing tendency of urban inhabitants to shop online not only implies changes in cities' mobility patterns, e-commerce is also considered as one of the most important accelerators of innovation in the urban freight sector. In this video, I will outline the main e-commerce trends, describe how it impacts urban freight transport, and discuss ways in which the environmental impacts of e-commerce on cities can be reduced. Contrary to common assumptions, only a small share of goods vehicles in urban areas are linked to e-commerce. While Dutch research estimates 5% of light goods vehicles or vans and 4% of heavy goods vehicles or trucks to be associated with online shopping, a study carried out in the United States refers to about 10 to 20% for American cities. Nonetheless, the sector is very present because it delivers online orders to consumers' homes. What's also sure is that these shares are growing and that flows are becoming more diverse. As illustrated by the pictures on the slide, there is not really one e-commerce, but it consists of different business models that are organized differently as well. Think, for example, about ordering food online. A number of platforms have been launched to carry out deliveries of meals and groceries in 10, 20, or 30 minutes, such as Deliveroo and Gorillas, whereas online supermarkets organize their deliveries on specific time slots, such as demonstrated by Picnic and Ocado. In non-food, retailers are more inclined to outsource their deliveries to specialized operators such as DHL or national postal organizations. In terms of trends, we're seeing an increase of hyper-local deliveries that promise instant deliveries under 2 hours and are organized from retailers' stores or even small urban warehouses called dark stores, a diversification of vehicle types used, and an acceleration of more sustainable out-of-home delivery alternatives, such as collection points and automated lockers. E-commerce deliveries and returns put pressure on cities' local quality of life and contribute to global climate change. A study by the World Economic Forum estimates that the number of delivery vehicles in the top 100 cities globally will increase by 36% until 2030. Consequently, emissions from delivery traffic will increase by 32% and congestion will rise by over 21%, equaling an additional 11 minutes of commute time for each passenger every day. The report was, however, published in January 2020. With current pandemic-fueled online shopping habits and without any intervention, it is very likely that we will reach this scenario sooner. Nonetheless, research and the sector are exploring the potential of different intervention to reduce the impact of e-commerce related urban freight transport. Two major categories of interventions are electrification and consolidation. First, electrification is currently the most mature solution to reach zero-emission transport, which is essentially a technology-neutral ambition. All e-commerce delivery operators are working on electrifying their fleet, especially in cities, taking advantage of the variety of vehicles that are available to replace light goods vehicles, from electrically assisted cargo bikes to large electric vans. The options currently available for heavy goods vehicles are still limited, and their business case is more difficult to make, as is switching from road transport to other modes, such as barge and rail, although some successful projects exist. Unlike conventional vehicles, electric freight vehicles rely on logistics facilities near or within cities that correspond to their more limited range and allow them to charge. They are often quite small because urban space is scarce and expensive, which is why they are referred to as micro-hubs. Second, consolidation entails to group deliveries as much as possible together to optimize vehicle loads and routes. In order to consolidate, urban logistics facilities are required as well. Consolidation and electrification initiatives have been shown to be very effective to reduce pollution and noise and improve operational efficiency. One example is Chronopost, that combines low-emission vans and cargo bikes with several micro-hubs spread around the city of Paris. Yet when observing traffic in urban neighborhoods, it is remarkable how many delivery vehicles pass by consecutively, carrying out deliveries for different companies. This illustrates the fact that although operators can be highly efficient on their own, operations are not necessarily efficient for the city as a whole. Cooperation between e-commerce delivery operators provides a solution for that, which is supported by so-called urban consolidation centers. Volumes of large operators are collected and combined to create the most efficient delivery route, carried out by a dedicated operator, as visualized on this slide. The concept is however difficult to implement in practice and faces operational and economic objections from the sector. Ultimately, when it comes to sustainable e-commerce deliveries and returns, cooperation between different stakeholders is key, between transport operators and retailers, but also consumers need to be engaged to accept more efficient and sustainable delivery options, including slower and out-of-home alternatives. And also policy plays an important role, of course, in making urban freight transport for e-commerce more sustainable. Initiatives such as emission zones, diesel bans, and city-centered pedestrianization are proven very effective in accelerating the sustainability transition.